The Evergreen Media Network Studio, powered by Scott Tree Services.
Honestly, without Treasure Coast Community Health, I think we'd be a much poorer community in terms of our health. We're always striving to fill the gap for everyone in the community, rich or poor. And good afternoon. Welcome to Community Conversations. As the promo intro said, I'm Vicki Soule from Treasure Coast Community Health. And we know that we can't do things all by ourselves. No matter how important healthcare is, it has so many ripple effects and impact from other factors in our community that it's my privilege to be able to have guests in each week to talk and have conversations about different things that are happening in our community in Indian River County. And today is no exception. I want to welcome Cynthia Ryan from the Veterans Services Council. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Well, you've been very busy of late. It wasn't all that long ago that you moved into new digs.
We did. We, for the first time ever, have a designated veteran center right down on 14th Avenue, 1790 14th Avenue. And that really came from the growth of needing to have more space to serve veterans. Over the past 2 years, we've had a very high demand for our direct aid and case management services.
Well, how many veterans live in Indian River County?
So we have right now 16,000 declared veterans. Mm-hmm. But as we've spoken about, there's probably more. And so we're at about 10% of the population of Indian River County.
Wow, that's fantastic. And so you talked about registering. Is there a central repository of people that use the veteran services?
So we are a nonprofit. So we're the Veterans Council, and so we're a nonprofit, but we encourage all veterans to register with the VA. And that will connect them to services that are available to them through the VA, the Veterans Affairs.
Can they do that electronically, or must they make a trip to either Viera or West Palm Beach?
So they can do it online. Mm-hmm. A lot of veterans prefer to do it with someone. Mm-hmm. And so we have a volunteer that's in our office twice a week that does that. And that's in collaboration with the DAV, which is the Disabled American Veterans. We do a lot of collaborations with people in order to have as many services as we can. The county also has the veteran service officers that are able to enroll people as well. Oh. So there's lots of ways to get connected. We definitely acknowledge that it's not always easy. Sometimes the paperwork and the online stuff is a lot to do. And so we're proud to be able to offer services for assistance to help you navigate that.
Well, and that's very important because as many times as I yell at my computer terminal, it never gives me the answer I want back.
Absolutely. And there's always lots of paperwork that's required that you submit
that you have to sign for and that sort of thing.
So we're happy to help veterans navigate that so that it gets done and you're in the system and all those benefits that you're entitled to, you have access to.
And so what kind of benefits are you talking about? Because it appears that not enough people want to go through that exercise, that not a return on investment, as they say in business.
Absolutely. So only 45% of all veterans have ever registered with the VA.
Wow, less than half.
Less than half. And so we really encourage them. There's medical benefits, there's mental health, behavioral health services, there's dental. It's endless. There's reemployment programs, there's education benefits. And so we really try to encourage all of the veterans that we serve through our direct aid programs to get registered in that system as well. And you might not need it now, but it's a lengthy process. So if you register now, it'll be there for if you do need it.
So you don't have to re-up, as they say. It's a one-time.
It's a one-time thing. I think it's once a year. You have to reconnect, but again, that's not very difficult to do, and we're here to help you. So if you need help with that, we do.
So when does your DAV volunteer come in? You said twice a week.
Yes, he's there 2 days a week. It just kind of flexes depending on what days people want to come in. He's very flexible.
Okay.
So you just call the office and we'll get you connected. He can usually see people within a day or two.
That's wonderful.
Really, yeah, it's been great.
So how would they connect with you by phone? What's your number?
Yes. It's 772-410-5820.
During regular business hours?
During regular
I presume.
business hours, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. And by calling, they can get connected to those kind of services to enroll in the VA, but also our direct aid and case management services as well.
So for the people that have recently moved in, or those of us that have so much packed in our brains, sometimes it gets confusing itself. The Veterans Services Council is a coalition of different groups. Is that correct?
So we are a nonprofit, and we work with other organizations. So when a veteran comes to us and they're in need of, a lot of times it's a financial crisis that they're in. We do an intake, a very detailed intake, and find out, what are their financial needs, but also what are their just general life needs. Trying to do that more holistic approach. And so then we do an after action plan. And within that, we identify the other organizations that provide services that the veteran could benefit from. And so right now we work with about 140 other nonprofits and government agencies.
Wow.
Yes.
And yet you gave me a sheet that it didn't have 140. So let's talk about some of the things that you thought I should know about.
Yes.
I'll be happy to share with the listening audience.
So our direct aid is focused at essential living, and quality of life. So a lot of veterans come to us for home repairs or handicap accessibility modifications that they may need.
Okay.
Rent, mortgage, those kind of things are very prevalent right now as well.
I would think even minor repairs, because the cost of doing something and or hiring someone to help with that has got to have inflated with everything else.
Absolutely. And a lot of our veterans are disabled. And so what may be a simple home repair to you or I, they're not able to do it. And so we're able to provide the funding to make sure that they live in a safe home. And then beyond that, we help veterans with mental health, behavioral health services that they may not be able to afford.
Okay.
And then we do the case management, which I really would like to say it's more like veteran coordination. So we're helping coordinate for the veteran to other services. And a lot of times we say, when you're in crisis, you're not really the best version of yourself. And so just having somebody next to you to say, okay, here's all of the organizations that can help you out with this need, helping them fill out the paperwork, getting them connected to whoever it may be.
A sounding board with some knowledge.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We definitely refer people to Treasure Coast for medical treatments. We work a lot with Senior Resource Association, United Against Poverty. They have a great grocery program.
They sure do.
That a lot of our veterans benefit from. So we try to not duplicate services. Instead, partner with experts in their field. And so we've had a lot of success with that model the last 2 years.
Well, and you said that the number of people using your services has gone up dramatically in the last 2 years. Can you give us a point of reference? What does that mean in terms of numbers?
Yeah, so we're currently, we have 287 veterans in case management, and we have a very small staff. There's only 3 paid staff people. And we have volunteers that come in as well that help us. So we've really been trying hard and working on grants for additional staff, because we found that by having the case management aspect, we're really able to connect veterans to more services. So having somebody that is working with them specifically on a specialized plan really has been beneficial.
And you mentioned volunteers. I know those are essential resources in any nonprofit. Do you have a particular focus on your volunteers? For example, are you looking primarily for ex-service men and women?
No, anybody who wants to support veterans, like most nonprofits, there's a lot of administrative stuff that you need help with to navigate, which is really essential to business.
Yep.
So people come in to do that. We're always looking for peer mentors, people to be able to connect with veterans, visit veterans that are in assisted living facilities and such that don't have a lot of family or people to connect with them. We do events, and so we always welcome people to get involved. Those are always fun. We do a big clay shoot every year, and so that's always a great time to come out and interact.
Yeah, and the logistics. So you're helping in both ways as a volunteer for the event, but also promoting it and maybe even funding part of it through your tickets or whatever.
Absolutely.
That's always wonderful.
So there's lots of ways to connect if people are interested in volunteering. There's lots of opportunities from administrative stuff to working with veterans to, working at events or promoting events.
Is there a required orientation or anything else that they need to kind of fit in before they can make a commitment, number of hours a week or anything like that?
Not really. We take the time to sit down as a team with the volunteer and see what they're interested in doing, what their strengths are, and then seeing where it fits in. But yeah, we love our volunteers. We can't do it without them.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned you've got something coming up not too far in the future.
We do. On September 14th, we have our annual clay shoot. This is our 5th annual clay shoot. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year. We usually have about 200 people participate. It sells out every year. So
you've been warned.
Yes, so don't wait to get your tickets. But being a sponsor for that event is a great opportunity to support our programs, but also really be seen by the community because it's so heavily attended.
And where is that at?
It's out west on 82nd Ave. It's called Vero Beach Clay Shooting Sports.
I've not been. Maybe
and they have a beautiful new clubhouse, so it'll really be a great event this year. We're looking forward to it.
Sounds great. We're going to take a short break for a word from our sponsors, and then when we come back, we'll come back to what other programs and things that you'd like to talk about. Okay? So stay with us. We've got some important things from our sponsors. Treasure Coast Community Health in-house pharmacies have the lowest prices in Indian River County, even lower than big box pharmacies. Taking your medication as prescribed leads to better health. Affordable medicine makes it easier. Treasure Coast Community Health patients can pick up medicine as they leave the office or use free delivery and mail order services. Pharmacists are always available to answer questions. Switch to TCCH pharmacies. Save money, stay healthy. 772-257-8224 and ask about our price match.
Sturgis Lumber is the most trusted hardware store in Indian River County, and it's so much more than just lumber. Sturgis stocks stainless steel products such as screws, bolts, and threaded rods, power tools, hand tools, and saw blades, construction supplies like caulking and cement mix, all kinds of painting supplies, even propane refills and tanks, and plumbing and electrical parts. Stop by Sturgis Lumber at 4645 US 1 in Vero Beach. True value quality with a hometown smile. Sturgis Lumber and Hardware.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs in all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Bollywood. We specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of name brand closeouts and sale items. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in
sunshine.
Back to Community Conversations. Thank you for listening to our sponsors and continuing on with the conversation that we're having. Cynthia Ryan is the leader at the Veterans Council.
Yes.
Yes. I was going to say, is there a word I'm missing? And she's been telling us about some of the things that are going on there and how they have gotten a new location in the last couple of months because of growth. And so I would like to talk more about the types of things that you do to help our veterans, particularly as a connection point, I guess, for those folks that come in from out of town, out of the state, and are looking for their brotherhood, people that may have been in the same service years or experiences that they were.
Absolutely. So one way that we help veterans connect is we have a monthly town hall meeting. And it's the first Wednesday of every month at 1:30, and we're over at the county admin building B.
Okay.
Right in the conference room, right there next to the DMV. And so we do that once a month. It's open to all veterans. It's actually open to the community in general. But we always have a speaker that talks about, services or programs that their organization may have.
Okay.
And then we give an opportunity for everyone there to share so people can interact. But if you're a veteran and you just call the Veterans Council, we can hook you up with lots of the veteran organizations. There's lots of social groups that are out there that we can connect you to, and depending on what you're looking for.
But by, again, service years, anywhere from World War II, I think, is still alive and well. And
we do. We still have a great amount of World War II veterans that we connect people to. But all of the services, all the branches have different groups. And so depending what you're looking for, we can connect you that way. And I mean, it's really endless. I think there's probably 30 veteran groups that get together. So depending what you're looking for, we can help you sort that out and get you connected.
That's wonderful. One of the statistics that I thought was surprising, disappointing, is that almost 30% of the veterans that live here are living below federal poverty levels.
Absolutely. It's very alarming. One of the indicators in that report showed that the reason they were a little bit below the state average of all people at poverty level was because of having VA benefits. And so we always go back to that. We really push it really hard because there's so many services that are available. Disability ratings can help improve your income. And so a lot of that is a tipping point for the poverty level. So there's lots of opportunities for income that we try to connect, veterans to based on that.
Well, and we know that housing is a huge problem in our county, across the U.S. right now. And yet there have been some real selected and intense efforts to support the veterans in terms of safe and stable housing in our community. And so are you a resource for that knowledge as well? Absolutely, we are. We also are able to provide funding for veterans that are in need of rent assistance. Also, we've had a lot of veterans over the past year that had to move because of rent increase. And so not having that first and last to be able to put down. So we're able to assist with that when we have funding available. Another reason to register as a VA. We always say, just come and check us out, see what we do, because we have a lot of flexibility because we are a nonprofit and not a government agency. But we try to fill the gaps. So, we can connect you. The county has a really great rent assistance program, and I think they offer 60% of rent. So we're able to offer the 40. Wow. So we can fill in. We do a lot with Habitat with
for humanity. And so they have a great veteran program for home repairs. And so with that program, it requires 10% down from the veteran. And so we are able to pay the 10% in order to get the program benefits for that veteran from Habitat. So we collaborate with a lot of people. And I think that's really our strength, is that we're able to fill in those gaps when they're needed.
And I'm going to give a shameless plug for Habitat insofar as, even though it's really hot right now, the reality is their programs do help so many in the community, and they too are volunteer-based. So if you have a particular skill set or want to gain a particular skill set, I will say to many women that I've worked side by side with, it really is the best feeling in the world after spending 3 or 4 hours and seeing over time what a difference it makes.
We love working with Habitat. They have a really great group of people. And so we've made it pretty seamless for the veteran if they qualify for a home repair through Habitat. It's usually within just a couple days, we're able to turn that around. So we're able to fund their 10% deposit required to start their project.
So I'm going to, again, be a little bit on the soapbox and say, veterans, if you don't have any of these needs and don't feel a burning desire to register as we've been talking about, register anyways to help. You've given service, and we really appreciate what you've done for our country, but it's within your soul. And so I would suggest that Cynthia could probably give you direction, and you don't have some of your own in terms of how you could be well spending an hour or two. She could use the help.
Absolutely. We could. And like I said, we have I think it was 287 veterans that we're working with right now, and we have a very small staff. And so as many veteran volunteers, that would be fantastic. But you don't have to be a veteran. But there is something to say that the connection, the camaraderie that comes with two veterans that are working together is, you can't deny that.
So how could they find out more about you? You have a web page. I see it's come up on our Facebook account.
Yes. So we have our website. It's veteranscouncilirc.org. We're on Facebook and Instagram, like everybody else. So you can find us there too.
But I would imagine, like the other nonprofits, if somebody wanted to donate just a little bit of time to help you with your social media marketing, you would give them a big hug, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. We love in-kind, donations or people donating their time. That's one incredible thing about the new Veteran Center, is that no operational funds were used for that.
Wow.
It was strictly, from donors and businesses and construction companies that did in-kind and donated their services to it. So I was very proud that we were able to pull that off without spending literally $1.
That is fantastic. And again, we know that the service usually extends throughout the family. So if you have a teenager who really you can't get off the computer, well, donate their time.
Absolutely. I always make my kids stuff envelopes and when we're doing events and stuff like that, they'll do all the mailings and stuff for us. So it's a huge part of it.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing more about what you're doing and how you're doing it. And I wish you just the very best going forward. So thank you all for being with us until the end of the show. I hope that this has been beneficial for you and that you can share the knowledge and perhaps like us on Facebook or follow us because we are Healthcare for All. Thanks so much and have a great afternoon.